My name is Ivana Karásková. I lead the China team at the Association for International Affairs, which is a Prague-based think tank and an NGO. In August 2020, the Czech Senate President Miloš Vystrčil boarded a plane to Taiwan. It was an act of democratic resilience, because China did everything it could to stop him. First came the calls from the Chinese embassy in Prague. Then China reached out to various political players, including the Czech president, who tried to stop Vystrčil from going to Taiwan. And then the Chinese lobby came, and industry. Despite all the pressure, Vystrčil went to Taiwan. It may seem as an odd story, but this is not the only one. The same happened to different lawmakers around the globe, starting with Romania, going to Ukraine, to parliamentarians in Gambia, Solomon Islands, Germany, and others as well. So this is not something which we've seen just one time. It's a part of a playbook. It is a multi-level operation, diplomatic, political, and economic one. China messages through various channels that if a lawmaker goes to Taiwan, or if a lawmaker meets with Dalai Lama or representatives of Tibetan exile, then he or she may jeopardize the economic relationship with People's Republic of China. Some may say why we should care. These people are privileged. Parliamentarians have access to security services. They go to media. They can handle it. And they should handle it because they are privileged, right? The problem is that the same happens to researchers, journalists, as well as members of civil society organizations. This story is not about Taiwan. It's about whether a democratically elected representative of an EU member state can go wherever he or she pleases to go and meet with whomever he or she pleases to do. It's about defending freedom of speech. It's about defending freedom of association and assembly. The danger of this kind of coercion is that there is no smoking gun, just emails, letters, vague threats, all part of internal domestic struggle, which very many who are outside of that may not know about. When China engages domestic actors, such as political superiors, it's no longer just China pressuring parliamentarian. It actually becomes much more difficult for parliamentarian to deny that he or she will not go to Taiwan or meet with Tibetan representatives. Very few of them actually speak about that. When I started to research this issue, I started to interview various parliamentarians, and lots of the time I heard, so this happens a lot. I'm not the only person who was coerced in this way. But strangely enough, almost all of those who were pressured by their superiors, so not China directly, but through intermediaries, they decided not to go. One parliamentarian told me that China even reached to the chairman of his party, and the chairman of his party said, if you go to Taiwan for the inauguration of President Lai, do not come back. And this parliamentarian decided he will not go. We need to shift from improvisation to preparation. That's why I have been working on anti-coercion toolbox for parliamentarians. It has to include different typologies of what is actually happening, why China is triggering coercion against parliamentarians around the globe, cases of what happened, and also interesting cases such as Vystrčil case, because he was one of the few ones who actually went through his plan to visit Taiwan despite all the odds. In Vystrčil's case, what made a difference was that he reached out to media early on. He also was able to create alliances in domestic sphere as well as internationally. International solidarity helped in this case a lot. We cannot rely on ad hoc solutions. We need a system.